I had a very emotional and interesting conversation with my client's wife last night during my last client visit. Now, usually when I go to my visits with my clients, I'm either usually there to help, assist, transport, or whatever their ADLs may consist of. But this specific particular visit is for my client, but I spend most of my time with his wife because of his condition. So my client is on hospice, and if you don't know what hospice is, hospice services are specifically for individuals who are slowly but surely declining in lifespan, meaning they are slowly dying. And hospice, their role is to provide comfort for the individuals that need their services as they transition, to death, afterlife, So last night, that's basically what my visit consisted of. I was there for my client, but I was there to provide companionship to his wife because of the circumstances, right? And that's totally understandable. That's what I'm there for. But last night our conversation was so candid. It was subtle, but it was so powerful, and it packed so much conviction and so much compassion. Now, I won't get into everything me and her discussed, but I will get into the part of the conversation that stuck with me even until I clocked out. I mean, it had me at the house, at home, crying my little eyes out. Because I get it. I get it. We were sitting there, and as we were in her living room, both just basically on standby, waiting for her husband to pass away. The whole time I was there, I was just so emotional, but I tried not to express it. I tried not to show it. I tried not to cry. But it was one point during the conversation that me and her had that I just had a tear just naturally just flew down. It flowed down slowly, and I tried to just wipe it away without causing too much attention to myself, and I did. But she was just telling me about how much love that man gave her. She was basically telling me about how she just knew she married that man just so she could kind of like be there for him, to protect him, because he kind of like had this childlikeness about him. So she knew that he needed her just like she needed him, right? And then she went on to talk about how much joy he provided for her, how great of a man that he was to her, and even if she wanted to find another him, she couldn't, and she goes to say it. And it's not that I'm looking, because I'm not. They were both well into their I think 70s, 80s, something like that. So she's like, at this point, I'm not even looking, because even if I was looking, I wouldn't find another him. And she went on to talk about her love for him and his love for her. If I could have any request, what would it be? And to my surprise, she did not say that she would request the restoration of her husband's health. But what she did say is, I would just want to be ready for the return of the good Lord. Now, I heard that and I was kind of puzzled, like, but then I get it. Because we only have one life to live, right? And what I took from her stories that she was sharing with me about her and her husband is that she had lived a fulfilled life. And she was happy with the life that she lived. And she went to explain to me how she wasn't perfect. She made mistakes. Kind of remind me of myself. She didn't have plans for marriage. She didn't have plans for children. She just wanted to live her life. And I said, I get it. That was me too. And then she said, but don't compromise the life you're living. Whether it's the life you have or it's not, don't compromise. Because at the end of the day, we have one life to live, right? but we also have salvation in the afterlife. So this is, I guess, encouraging message from her to me, to you, that even if you don't have the life you live currently that you expect, you still are alive. You still are living. You still have reason to live. Them folks said you only got one life to live, so live it to the fullest. And I wholeheartedly agree with that. But after the conversation I had with my client last night, as we both sat on standby, and basically we are waiting for her husband to just pass away, right? Before I went home, she said something that was so simple and so convicting to my spirit. And she told me to do not compromise. See, we like to just live life and live life to the fullest, right? And as you should. But as surely as we live, one day we all have to die. And as surely as we live, there surely is an afterlife, right? I.e., there is transition after you live. Now my client, she is a firm believer, her and her husband. So she's pretty adamant that after he passes away, she knows he is about to bust the gates of heaven wide open, and as he should. I'm here for it. But then she asked me, was I certain where I was going if I was to take my last breath today? And I'm just going to keep it G. I don't know. But I told her one thing for sure, two things for certain. I'm striving to secure my salvation. And sometimes that means walking away from compromise. One of my favorite scriptures in the Bible says, evil company corrupts good character, right? That's why I'm so mindful about the company I keep, the conversations I have, the people I let into my space, because I know I've not always been this woman that I am now. And I know how easy it is for me to get caught up into dysfunctional ways. So I'm intentional. So today, the encouragement for you, from me, would be to be intentional about how you show up for today, because every seed you plant today, it cultivates your future. That's it. That's all I had to say. Think about it. Y'all stay blessed and be humble.